Hello everyone and welcome to another What I Think review. So I was looking over my collection the other day and I realised official merchandise wise I actually have a few figures and things that I have not yet reviewed, so I thought it would be a good time to do a bit of a catch up on that. And today we are going to be looking at this, which is the original release of the Fourth Doctor in his burgundy outfit along with K9 as seen in Warrior's Gate. Now, as I said, this was the original release. Obviously, there has been a more recent re-release that was a repaint in the 13 Doctors box set. And I've actually looked into this, and it seems that, like some of the other re-releases that there have been over the years, despite the fact that before the 13 Doctors release, this was very hard for people to get hold of. Because obviously everyone wanted it, everyone wanted the season 18 Doctor, and then they've had the 13 Doctors box set version, which again is still limited, but more people got hold of it. However, it has not depreciated the value of these. These are still actually worth a fair bit. I mean, I think I paid for this for my one. I think I paid. About £50 for mine, but I managed to talk the seller down from 70 because these are still worth a lot of money. So if you ever find one of these cheaply, especially in its box, definitely pick it up because it is one that, again, you know, there can be as many re-releases as there's going to be, but the original will always still be worth more. So first things first, we're going to take a look over the box of this. So here we have the boxed figure. It's very nicely presented. The one thing that does it's a bit odd for me about this when you look at it is the fact that the Doctor is off to the side and K9's there and you've got this big void. I mean, I know they couldn't help that, you know, because that's where K9 is. And I mean, they could have put him sideways, but it would have looked a bit odd in the packaging. But I don't know, part of me makes me think that what they could have done just to fill this little void, and it would have been odd because so little would have gone in it, but what this doesn't come with a sonic screwdriver, but the other thing they could have done is they could have done if they had made this figure, because this particular version of the figure is not made to have the head taken off. It's not a peg head, it's fixed into the body. But if they had made the figure with the peg head, they could have had, like they had in the original Fourth Doctor figure, they could have had an interchangeable head with a hat, or, you know, the smiling face on the hat, or this, actually no, serious face on the hat would have been better, with the updated sculpt, because this is an updated Fourth Doctor sculpt as well from the original one we saw. So I think it would have been a good idea if they put in a spare head as well to swap over with the hat. Obviously, for those who watch the Fourth Doctor series, they'll have seen that I did do a version of this with the hat. It looks very good, and I just think that, you know, you've got this big void here. It would have been nice just to have something else in there. But other than that, it's a fantastic looking figure, and it's very striking as well, because even though the Doctor's off to the side and you've got this void, it's still very recognisable, because the other classic figures that are very sought after, they're all sort of single figures with the Doctor posed in the middle, and this is sort of one that you look at it and think, yes, that one is a bit different, in the same way that you have the Anthony Ainley and Fifth Doctor figure. They're off to the side of each other. It's different to what you normally see, so it's a very good looking. It's an odd setup, but it's a good looking setup. So on the back, obviously we've just got the usual info: Fourth Doctor in the burgundy outfit. And K9 from Warrior's Gate. It's all of this stuff. It's all relatively similar on all of the normal figures. There's not really a huge amount to talk about here, but it's nice. It's nice to see it all on there, because for me, with the newer figures, and I don't know what the new figures to be coming for Series 11 is going to be like. But even looking at the B&M sets we get, and the sort of single release figures, they look alright, but on the back of them, you've literally got a single picture of the figure. On the B&M sets, you've just got a picture of the figure, that's it. Whereas on the other figures, you've got a picture of the figure, and then you've got a little bit of blurb. Now, personally, for me, obviously with the new series Doctors, I don't think you could do it. Well, you could do it in a way, but I don't think it would work as well. But I just get the feeling for the classic series, the B&M classic series that they do, it would be nice to see all of these these little info, just the little info bits. I mean, I know they're not necessary information, but the little bits, like, you know, telling you what years the Doctors, you know, what years the Doctors were on, you know, what year the particular episode in question is from, where the actual episode is, you know, from the figure, and a little bit of blurb. The one main concern, obviously, is the quality of the figures, and I know that is something that has been lacking in fairly recent years in some respects. But at the same time, a good box jumps out at you, a good box grabs you, and the B&M sets are no exception to that. They look brilliant, and they really do look fantastic. And even the older, the short-lived, what I call the Blue Diamond Select range, even those had good background information and pictures and sort of, you know, little things like, you know, all the different numbering the Doctors. They had that all on there, and it looked brilliant. It looked absolutely fantastic. And I look at some of the ones we get now, and it is just a bit, I don't know, that it's lacking. You know, it feels like as well as the figures, some of the figures, I'll stress that, some of the figures are lacking slightly. It feels like the box artwork is as well at times. So hopefully with the new rebranding of Series 11, all the new logos and styles and things like that, we'll certainly get back some more interesting looking box art and things like that for figures. But yeah, on the whole, this sort of is, you know, it's these classic figures. You know, as I said, I do box reviews because the boxes are all the same, but they're different in a way because of how they're presented and things like that. And I think the other nice thing as well is because they are so differently presented, that's why they're worth reviewing, because they've got lots of extra information on them. You know, you've got all these nice front pieces with actual pictures, and it really stands out. And I think it's sort of reviewing the boxes of these is better because it shows what we're not getting today, in a sense, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's enough about the box. Let's get on to reviewing the figures themselves. So we have here the 4th Doctor and K9. Let's go over the 4th Doctor first. So as I said previously, this is a updated head sculpt from the standard 4th Doctor. I don't think, I thought I had one on my desk here which I could compare, but annoyingly I don't think I had. The one time where I thought I had one here and I don't have it. Anyway, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that this is an updated head sculpt, and I like this head sculpt. I think this is a better head sculpt than the early ones. The early ones are nice, but they're a bit too generic. That's what I like about this one. Is this has got a bit more personality in the way the face has been done, and it's the same with the time capsule 4th Doctor with the unique head sculpt that came with the regenerated 4th Doctor. And also, I have to say, actually, some of the later 4th Doctor hatted ones, like the Seeds of Doom, or Seeds of Death, I always get those two confused. But that particular head we got with that, again, it's just got a bit more personality. The other ones looked a bit too young and smooth, so I do like that. Obviously, he has removable scarf. The coat details very nice. This is actually, funny enough, I've got one right here. What are the chances of that for once? This is actually the same sculpt used in the regenerated 5th Doctor, as you can see. But the main difference between these two, this has still got a bit of plastic on it. The main difference between these two is if we turn around and look at them, obviously you can see that the 5th Doctor one has all of the muddy back to it. But other than that, it is exactly the same sculpt. So it's nice to have a clean version of this, because the one that I used for my hatted version was the 4th Doctor, was the 5th Doctor regenerated version, so I had to repaint it. But it's a very nicely detailed coat, and the scarf fits on very nice. Obviously, it's a new, well, it's at least it's an updated scarf sculpt as well that we got with this. So yeah, it's a very nice looking figure. It's got good articulation. The one thing I did notice with this, though, is the legs are a little bit stiff on this, and I noticed it on the 5th Doctor one as well. They're a little bit difficult to articulate because of the because of the coat. So I know this is a figure that I have. One of the things I have noticed is there are some people who have told me that they have used these for figure animations, and this is or they would like to use this for figure animations, and it's actually a bit difficult because of its movement constraints. But it's still it's a fantastic looking figure to put on display. Obviously, that's what I use it for. So let's move on to K9. So it's a very nice looking K9 figure we've got. Obviously, we've got K9. We've got all of his little collar details. We've got it's a pull back and go version. Hopefully, I can put this on camera. I'm gonna have to catch him the other side. Okay, he's not as quick as I thought he was going to be, but you get the idea. So yeah, very nicely detailed. And the other nice thing it's got as well is if you push the top panel, you can see all of his interior design as well, which is, it's very nicely detailed, very well put together, and obviously the panel does just clip back into place. This is actually the only 5-inch version of K9 I've got in my... Well, I say the only version, obviously I've got the boxed version as well. But it's the only loose version of K9 I've got. So this is, again, this is a nice one for me to have because it's something that I don't otherwise have in my collection. And I think the weird thing is, although we've seen K9 released in other forms and other, you know, even new series releases, there's just something about these two together that this is a very iconic looking set. They really do sort of fit together, and I think if the one thing that I would love to see in future that would really complete this set, it would really set it off, is if we got a Leisure Hive Romana, because obviously the Leisure Hive was the first time we saw this burgundy set. Now I know there's obviously lots of other Season 18 outfits that she's got, but I think for me the Leisure Hive outfit that she wears is certainly one that would set it off. I have Romana on my list to make in future as a custom figure at some point, I'll say that now. I am planning on doing the Destiny of the Daleks version because that's probably one of my favourite outfits she's had, but I'm certainly open to possibly doing a Leisure Hive version, so yeah, you never know. It might probably not official merchandise, but you may well see one of those figures on my channel one day. That is my review part of the figures, so back over to me to do the outro. And so that brings to a close another What I Think review. As always, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation, and you can get involved. There is exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and funding my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.